A critical four-game homestand begins at Trinity Health Stadium for Hartford Athletic tonight as they take on North Carolina FC. Hi, everybody. With my broadcast partner, Mark Donaldson, I'm Joe D'Ambrosio. Where are the goals coming from? 7 goals in the last 2 games for Hartford.
Yeah, but 6 goals conceded as well. But we want to accentuate the positives. We wondered where the creativity and the goals were coming from. They've now shown this is how they're capable of doing so. The problem they have is they need more from the midfield to protect the defence, who we've already seen so far this season can be very good.
Draws in their last 3 games. Let's take a look at how that happened. Goal, it's tipped away. Corner kick set in, punched out. Here's a turnaround shot. It goes wide. Best chance tonight. Box. Played for Jang on the run. A shot just wide. Outswinger, header, goal! We are all even at 1.
Great run by Foster. He really dictated that whole play. Jack Lake does a great job getting a shot on frame. Deflection goes his way, but Chang with a 4. Oh my! Toe poke to Collier. Collier left foot there for the near the 11, and that's 4.
So when you look at the recent form, Hartford's either unbeaten in 3 or winless in 4, but there's no question when it comes to North Carolina, Mark, they're on a heater.
They're a good side, a really good side. Good to watch as well. And I've seen the progress since they came up from USL League One. They've got goals, they've got a lot of threat. They're a decent team.
Lineups and kickoff next. Here from Hartford.
An injured knee might look pretty simple, but there's a whole person behind that injury. One who misses the feel of his jump shot and spending time with friends on the court. It's not enough just to heal. He needs to get back out there. At Trinity Health, we're here to help you reach your goals. We combine all the knowledge and expertise of a national health system with personalized health care that treats the individual behind the injury. Because we see all of you.
The Great Fire of 1835 forced most insurance companies to close, but not us. The day our founders pitched in to pay every claim is the day the Hartford became the Hartford.
At Lux Bond & Green, we have been designing and crafting custom jewelry for decades. It's an art as much as a science, and really there's no room for error. It comes down to 100 little choices made by our own artists and experts who listen to you and create your perfect engagement ring by hand. Quality, value, and selection. Lux Bond & Green Jewelers throughout Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank the Mandel JCC of Greater Hartford, the official fitness center of Hartford Athletic. Visit mandeljcc.org to learn more. Last Fly is the leader in airport parking at Bradley International. Save 20% by pre-booking on lasfly.com. Last Fly is a proud supporter of Hartford Athletic. We'll get started about an hour later than scheduled. There's lightning in the area. Last thing you want to do is have the players and your fans out in lightning. It's starting late.
Kyle Edwards, he's away on international duties, so Adi Obalola will be on one side of Momo Dieng, and Samuel Cariaga will have a bit of a freedom to play. He's the informed player right now with a couple of goals recently.
And as far as North Carolina is concerned, Olex Anderson's away on international duty with Kyle Edwards, so they've switched things up a little bit.
Yeah, Luckhurst will lead the line with Dolabella and Perez in support. They also have Ahmed Al-Kak, the Palestine international, and Jaden Servania from Puerto Rico, also on international duty. A back three, the Englishman Paco Craig comes back into the side It was 8 changes they made for their cup win at Richmond. This is a more normal league side selected by John Bradford.
Yeah, when I had a chance to speak to their head coach on Wednesday, he said Jägermeister Cup affords them an opportunity to get some of their younger players work. Now, Hartford, their roster was thin. They didn't have that opportunity. And frankly, they don't have that many younger players.
No, they don't. But from the North Carolina perspective, Adam Luckhurst scored the goal with 10 minutes to go. He's rewarded with a start because Anderson is away on international duty. From a Hartford perspective, I think the short team, the short squad really was felt at Indy in the 4-4 draw because he just looked at his bench, Brendan Burke, and didn't really have anybody that he could bring on that could strengthen or at least keep the ability that he had on the pitch.
It is a 72-degree muggy night as you look at Anthony Siaha, who we'll talk to. There's Bryce Washington, the Georgia native, backbone of that North Carolina defense. North Carolina in red, trimmed in white. Beautiful uniforms. Hartford in the home green, trimmed in white. Edison Carvajal is our referee, the man in charge. He's done one USL match this season. It was Carolina's match earlier this year against Indy 11. Crowd has made their way back in. They were ushered out by PA announcer Lance Reiser once the first lightning strike was seen.
The gates opened at 7:51 again. Players were already out warming up. Just everyone wants to get this underway now. I think there'll be goals in this one. It's a 3-4-3 versus a 3-4-3. Two sides that know where the back of the net is. Let's hope we get plenty goals in this one.
From the looks of it, standing outside and watching people come in, it appeared many people were at the brewery next door.
Yeah, I had a couple of messages from people who were at the brewery as well. It's about 10 degrees cooler than it was prior to the bad weather in the area, and it's going to be like this over the next 4 days, thankfully, because it was too hot today for us Scotsmen.
All right, speaking of Scotsmen, his keys to the game are brought to you by Hoffman.
Yeah, so when we spoke to Brendan Burke about this on Thursday, it wasn't so much the central defenders, because they're playing well. It was more protect them better. Scoring goals is no longer a problem as the game gets underway. Conceding, they need to do better. And talking about scoring goals, North Carolina FC, 3 straight wins, unbeaten in the USL Championship since April, and they score in most games they play of late.
Set into the box. Marlon Hairston bangs it off a North Carolina player. Our starting lineup is brought to you by the good folks at Liberty Bank. This, the 5th all-time meeting between these two teams. They played in 21, and not 22 and 23 when North Carolina decided to go into League One. Last year they split. North Carolina winning in the Tar Heel State 2-1. Hartford winning here late in the year, an exciting 4-3 game. Hartford led 4-0. A couple of goals by the great Danny Barrera. And then it was hold on to your hat time for Hartford.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been as nervy as it was towards the end.
Hartford's going to try to play over the top. They've scored 7 goals in their last 2 games, 4 in the tie with Indy 11, and then 3 in the comeback in the Jägermeister Cup against Westchester.
It's easy to say you don't know what to expect from a Hartford perspective. We've had a 0-0 here, followed by a 4-4 at Indy. And in between times, it was a 1-1 against Lewis City.
Marlon Hairston called for the foul against Adam Luckhurst, who had the game-winning goal in their Jägermeister Cup game last week.
He's a threat aerially, good header of the ball, scored that headed goal against Richmond. Their main threat from set plays, of course, Michael Maldonado, who got a brilliant free kick into the top corner in their last league game against Oakland.
Yeah, Maldonado tied for the league lead in assists with 5 thus far. This is an Indianapolis team that comes in tied for 6th in goals scored in 15th. Hartford tied for 15th in goals conceded with 16. It's funny just how all of a sudden the floodgates have opened for Hartford offensively.
At both ends.
Yeah, right. Although the 2 goals against Westchester, the first penalty hit goal could be described as iffy at best.
It was nearer halfway than the penalty box yet. The referee, who did apologise at half-time, gave a penalty.
Former Hartford player J.C. Obergun getting the 2 goals last week. Tristan Hodge familiar face from the last couple of years. On the bench for head coach John Bradford in his 5th year.
Done a good job, John Bradford. This is a side that have really improved since they got promotion in November 2023. Last year was okay. This year's been really good to start.
TJ Prestis getting the start. Coming out off the line, Jake McGuire. He will do that. He will also help, like Siaha, facilitate plays. A couple of, as you look at our officials for tonight's match, there's the man in charge. That's Carvajal. Arturo Dispe and Michi Engalina, both on the bench for Hartford. They're on a minutes restriction, so we expect to see them in the second half. Unless things are going so swimmingly that Brendan Burke doesn't want to change things around.
And so far, 3.5 minutes. We've got a referee that does like the sound of his whistle.
He handed out 7 yellow cards in that only USL match he did earlier this year. There's Novelello. And we've got a North Carolina player down.
We also have a microphone right beside the North Carolina bench and the shout of, hey, another one.
John Bradford not happy with that. There's a lot of pain down there. It looks like Louis Perez. Oh, no, that's no, I'm not going to speculate because you can't see the numbers.
Sebastian Anderson with a strong challenge. Referee playing advantage. So Maldonado from free kicks.
There's John Bradford, by the way, not enamored with what he's seen so far.
He just has this wonderful ability, Maldonado, to put it where he wants to put it. It's easy to say that when you've got a free kick, you know where you want to put it, but he can actually do it most of the time.
Mikey Maldonado out of San Antonio. Restart by North Carolina FC. Winners of 3 games in a row. Trinity Health of New England, proud to be the official medical provider and title partner of Hartford Athletic. Always committed to providing the best healthcare experience every day for every patient. Trinity Health of New England, we see all of you. This went off to a rather tedious start. As you see, Mikey Maldonado. Great on throw-ins. He should be able to get this into the box as everybody pushes into the 18-yard area.
Of course he takes it short.
Yep, goes short, decides to get the ball back. Now chips it in. Looking for Dolabella.
You get away with that once. Everyone goes back into the box. Here could be a chance for Hartford.
Here's Momo on the run. Sends it behind Carriaga. Won the USL Player of the Week honors for his performance in the Jägermeister Cup, where he scored the first 2 goals for Hartford. Hairston hasn't taken off his boot. North Carolina regains possession. Cinderell Carriaga, Brendan Burke told us yesterday, was got the game ball for Westchester. Did you ever get a game ball when you were in your soccer playing days?
No, I never played soccer.
You did?
Rugby. We were a rugby school, not a soccer school.
Here's the former Athletic midfielder, Colin Martin, number 17. Mitzingen couldn't control.
They move the ball about very well. They're a well-coached side by John Bradford. And while they're up here, the soccer tournament, TST, which is on ESPN Plus, is going ahead in Cary, North Carolina. There's another strong challenge.
Mitzingen and Ogallala collide. Brendan Burke, his first discussion with Mr. Carvajal. Mitzingen giving his side of the story.
Even the best defense lawyer would struggle to provide a good case there.
You're saying Perry Mason would have a hard time with that one?
Indeed.
There's Siaha, who you'll hear from at halftime. Mark and I had a chance to talk to him. Very outgoing, very talking to boy, we've gotten a lot of fouls early in this match.
And do you know what? Most of them have been correct. It's just been a physical start to this game inside the first 8 minutes. We had that, I think it was against Detroit. It was just all stop-start.
Here's Maldonado. Nice anticipation by Manny Samaria. Plays it back to the captain, Jordan Scarlett. 9th minute of play, no score, no shots on goal. TJ Prestis getting another start.
Done well since he's come in.
His 4th in a row. Yeah, he's played well for Dispay. He, Farrell, and Scarlett have proven to be a strong center back combination for Hartford. Brendan Burke likes the way that his midfielders, Marley Harrison and Beverly Macangila, have been working in use.
Yeah, but I'd like to see them, as I said, in the keys to the game, protect a little bit better. You do have a right-footed left centre-back in Scarlett.
Knocked over the west touchline. It'll be a Hartford throw-in for Samaria. North Carolina not pressing in the middle. Looks like Anderson's offside. He is. Flag is up.
But when you play with 3 at the back, you do give a little bit of freedom for your fullbacks. Anderson does like to get forward, and Samadi is a very good player on this left-hand side. And I understand a lot of the football the last 5-10 years. Oh, let's play brilliant short passes. And yeah, but there's still a place for going long and going diagonal when the opportunity arises. And if you can get your fullbacks forward, get the ball wide, get it in. The 2 Oakland goals scored recently against North Carolina were from wide areas. That was a chance.
Shot goes wide. Siaha not happy with his defense there. The Hartford is back again and excited to help our team win. From kickoff to extra time, they're proud to show their support for our amazing community. As a founding partner of Hartford Athletic, visit thehartford.com to learn more.
There's an example of a long ball, and it just beats the Hartford defence, and Adam Luckhurst didn't have his shooting boots on there. That was a chance. First of the game for North Carolina.
Taken away by North Carolina in the midfield. Minskin taken off the ball by Obalola.
Yeah, he just got the wrong side, Obalola.
Gillen tried to slow the play down off the restart.
Just there.
It's a little nudge.
Yeah, it was enough. It was a kind of thigh to thigh. Enough to put him off. It's a good call by the referee. When you've got someone that's as accurate as Maldonado is, you've sent your centre-backs forward. Hartford have got to be on their toes here. They're trying to keep a line along the 18-yard box. So watch for the runs from deep.
Maldonado with the restart. Headed into the sweeps.
Yeah, there's that run from deep from Dolabella. He's not one that's on the 18-yard box. He just times his run better, coming in late. It's pre-planned. He knows where that ball's going from Maldonado. Hartford have got to be alert with all these free kicks.
These are 2 teams that did not score early. North Carolina has not scored a goal before the 15th minute. Hartford has 1. Hartford offensively now 9 goals, tied for 21st. And North Carolina has conceded just 11. It's tied for 8th.
Yeah, but 8 games in a row North Carolina have scored, and they are a big threat. Interesting to see how they got on today without Anderson.
They do have Rodrigo da Costa to come off the bench.
He scored here back in
year.
October.
Yep. Taken away by Hartford. There's a shot from distance that sails over the north end line, so it'll be a goal kick.
I don't mind that.
Jake McGuire. Well, you gotta make it look. What's the word I'm looking for? You gotta put some sort of pressure on, put some thoughts in their heads. And Carriaga, we saw him score from distance last week. So.
Yeah, and it's a player of confidence. And look, sometimes it's about knowing before you get the ball, is this the best option, or are there better options available? That was the only option that was on. He maybe taken a touch and got a little bit closer, but no issue with that whatsoever. And it keeps the goalkeeper on his toes as well, knowing that if Carriaga has the ball, a bit like Maldonado within 30 yards of goal, then something might happen.
Jake McGuire, his 2nd year with North Carolina, spent 2 years in Miami. All-time leading goaltender in games played and shutouts at the University of Tulsa. Know their nickname? Want to take a gander?
Well, I did the PGA Championship a few years ago at Southern Hills. I'm going to leave this to you so you can have your moment of glory. Correct. A dangerous pass from Makingila there, with Luckhurst in close proximity.
A little space in the midfield, no score.
Don't mind the movement from both sides. Good running off the ball there from Momo Dieng, and already Luckhurst has been moving a fair bit. 2 strikers for each side.
Brendan Burke says the old Momo is back. Sat him 1 game. Wanted him to look at some things. Eventually he got in earlier than expected due to an injury, but had the game-winning goal last week in the win in the Jägermeister Cup. Sent towards the box. Headed out before the danger. Kept in nicely by Hartford, but cleared off the 18.
Now, something that won't be spoken about until I bring it up is the role of Sebastian Andersson there. It was a great run from the right side. And what you're doing is you're creating an extra man for the opposition to try and defend. Now, if you win the ball back, if you're North Carolina, you know that the right back area is something to target if you're quick enough. But that was good from Andersson getting forward. That's twice we've seen that.
Preston goes backwards for it. This is a North Carolina side that's also been out without their leading goal scorer, Evan Conway. This is the 4th straight game that he sat out with a knee injury. And of course, as we've alluded to, Olex Anderson in international duty scored a couple of goals this week. Kyle Edwards had 1. Ball played ahead for Jang. Bryce Washington sends it back to his keeper.
There's a run over the top there, which that ball's been on, and Finn Sundstrom coming across to cover. Bryce Washington was there as well all the way through, but that is a ball that's going to cause issues for both defenses.
Finn Sundstrom, the 18-year-old from Clayton, North Carolina. Randy's Worcester Street Pizza, the official pizza of Hartford Athletic. Stop by the stadium or visit their other Connecticut locations to enjoy some of the best pizza Connecticut has to offer. There's Minskin. Forcing backwards. There's the captain, Paco Craig. Martin with space traps it.
A little bit too much space there.
Good patience by North Carolina. Just naturally want to call him the targets. There's Farrell cleared out of danger.
It's needless from Carriaga.
Yeah, Carriaga. And the referee's going to... One thing that Edson Carvajal does is he does a lot of talking.
Don't mind that. It's unnecessary from Carriaga. I mean, he's miles off. I mean, it's like on the NFL. If both feet are out of bounds, you cannot touch the player.
We'll talk to him once, and if it happens again, he'll book him.
No issue with them speaking to him there. That was stupid from Carriaga. A player I've really enjoyed watching since he's got his fitness up. He could be key for Hartford this season if he stays fit. He's a match winner.
Maldonado in front of the Hartford bench for the restart. Like a picket fence at the 18. Headed out by Hartford, cleared out of danger for now. Everybody will have to get back on side for North Carolina. No score. Each team with 1 shot. Neither team with a shot on target in the first 17 minutes of our match tonight, which got underway an hour late due to lightning in the area. These teams trying to show a little lightning on the attack. Box chested down, and Siaha has to be aware there. Luis Perez causing some trouble. Nasty takedown in midfield. Hartford applying for a yellow. Marlon Hairston pleading the case.
He's kind of committed, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a foul. On we go. Last thing Hartford want is to lose Momo Dieng. Good goal that he scored. We showed that goal in our open to the show this evening. Strike Indy was some game.
Indy was the first time in his 2 years with Hartford that Momo's had a goal and an assist in the same game.
Oh, it's got the card out. Okay. So this is, by the way, the microphone is right beside the North Carolina bench. This is John Bradford. Yes. Back and forward all game. He said, she said.
So, first card of the night handed out. It'll be Hartford restarting from midfield. So Patrick Berner getting his first start of the year. Gets his first yellow card of the year.
That was a good ball he put in the cup winner against Richmond for Luckhurst. He scored the header.
Pira is back to help and feeds it right to Macangilla. Tries to cut it back. First one swing it this way to Samaria. No score. 20th minute of play. A muggy night in the capital city.
Just want to see a bit more movement in the final third from Hartford when they have the ball in areas like this in the centre of the pitch. A bit static there. This is better.
Chipped in. Right to the keeper before Jang can get there. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Nuova Pasta for supporting our Golds for Meals program. For every Hartford Athletic goal scored this year, Nuova Pasta will donate meals to help fight food insecurity in our community. They've had to dig into their pocket the last couple of games. 7 goals for Athletic.
Good.
They'd like to pay for a lot more. Here's a long ball. Whoa, that's dangerous. And that's going to be a corner.
No, it was a push.
Oh, they called a push.
Yeah, it was conversation between referee and assistant on this near side, Tom Felice. It was a little push by Luckhurst. Initially, he was a little bit tentative, the goalkeeper, as to whether or not to come. See right there, he's like shouting, trying to communicate. Joe Farrell gets back there. Now it's panic mode. And then, is it enough of a push? You make the most of it. You claim for it. If you get it, great. If you don't, it's a corner.
Samadia's pass picked off. Good aggressive defending there by Colin Martin, the veteran. Chevy Chase, Maryland.
You been there?
I think I've gone through there. Never stopped at Chevy Chase. Bill Murray bookstore.
They're a fit side, North Carolina. Good chasing. Means that Hartford have got to be right on point when it comes to passes. Any turnovers and they could have numbers against.
In the weekly USL power rankings, North Carolina is 3rd. They have Sacramento number 1 at 3, 2, and 4. This makes me question the rankings. 22nd minute of play, no score. A little fewer fans in the stands, I'm sure, because of the weather threat.
Busy weekend in this area.
Here's Jang. Has a step.
Good defending.
Good job. Minsigan getting back along with Washington to kind of force Jang off the ball.
Had to get it right as well, because if he mistimes that, it could easily be a penalty. USA Turkey just up the road. Wrench the field tomorrow.
Friendly in East Hartford.
Didn't go out.
Minsigan kept it in. And they're going to call Scarlett for the foul. Ewing over the top of Adam Luckhurst, the Duke Blue Devil.
John Kerr, his coach, Duke. Big friend of Stevie Nicol.
Oh, your guy.
And the much missed Paul Mariner when they were at the New England Revolution.
Space in the middle for Martin. Blocked by Scarlett. Jang on the chase, but he's not going to get there.
So when he goes chasing, he needs to have a little bit more support. He's not going to be able to kind of outrun 2 or 3. He can tag team and get the better of him, but it's a difficult one as to who the support's going to come from. Is it going to be Obalola? Is it going to be Cariaga?
Cariaga has done is his running range has come back, according to Brendan Burke. Battled injuries early in the year, got hurt in Lexington. That game was the only game Lexington's won this year. They beat Hartford on opening night. And since then, they've winless in 10. Played in, and McGuire smartly comes off the line and fielded at the 18.
All because of his starting position, which was really good. A good week for the youth teams at Hartford. The under-12s and the under-14 boys both won the state championships. They now head off to Virginia at the end of the month to play 3 games and potentially playing for the national championships.
Congratulations to them. They'll be honored at halftime tonight.
I may be slightly biased, given good friends of ours have a son, Josh Grobel, in the under-12s.
What position is Josh?
He plays everywhere. He plays on the left-hand side. He can play as a left back, push him forward. They're going to drive to Virginia from here. 6 hours on a good day?
It's a very good day.
Overnight.
With a lead foot. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. Distilled 6 times till it's just right. Tito's is known for great vodka, giving back, and doing good for dogs. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume. Please savor responsibly. Look for Samadia, but not away from him.
Yeah, but second balls. That's a foul. If you can win the second ball, if you don't win the first one, you've got to make sure you've got players in support as well. It's not a bad crossfield pass.
You know how when you watch the NBA playoffs, they go into the huddle and during the timeout. It's always tape and stuff. This is better than that. Having John Bradford close to the mic.
Whoever positioned the microphone there, done a good job.
Nice play by Scarlett over the top to steal it. Swinging to the far side to Sebastian Anderson. Siaha gets that big right foot into it. Cariaga coming back to help. Now Samadia with space. Distributes in the middle. Back at Gila. Joe Farrell. Being patient to build up. Here's Anderson. No score into the 27th minute. Now Anderson again. They're content to let him play with the ball out. No pressure on Farrell in the middle. Play on. Again, plays in the middle. Dolabella. Runner on the left, overlapping. Pass for Martin was soft, and Jang boots it over the east touch line on the far side. Now, is that Momo down again? I believe it
No,
is.
Momo was back helping out. He was the one that won the ball back. Beverly Makingila.
Quickly out to attend to him. An athletic trainer. Mike Diaz. Looks like he's working on the right leg. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Tripped up.
Ball was one for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, not a trip in the
Yeah.
in the sense of a foul.
I think the referee got that one right. Maldonado's challenge for me was fine. It's collateral damage, but it's not a foul.
Jody Ambrosio, Mark Donaldson. Happy birthday to our director, Tom Stanwicks. So Thomas of Stanwicks with another candle on the cake. In fact, he's had so many candles on the cake, looks like one of the lightning strikes.
Brendan Burke just taking the opportunity while Beverly Makingila is down, getting treatment to bring most of the other Hartford players to him for a drink and some encouragement, maybe one or two tactical words, which is exactly what John Bradford's doing with Adam Luckhurst right now.
Each team, Hartford with one shot. 2 shots. Oops. I want that. 2 shots for North Carolina.
We've spoken the keys to the game about protecting the back three, and Hartford have done that well. What they have to try and find is a way to still be creative, and rather it being one or the other, can it not be both? So to be both, you need either a Makingila or a Hairston, or both to protect, but you also need support from Cariaga, Nobalola, maybe wide from Samadia and Anderson for Momo Dieng. So you need to pass the ball a little bit quicker. Brendan Burke will be pretty happy with what he's seen so far. No real danger for either goalkeeper, Anthony Siaha or Jake Maguire, in the opening half hour. Hopefully Beverly Makingila is okay.
Hoppling off. He's got to come off because he came off during stoppage time, but it looks like maybe Shane Beckford getting ready to make an appearance.
Well, that would be an adventurous and an attacking move. He's putting his top on right now, the yellow bib, but he's getting instructions in case Makingila is unable to continue. Mike Diaz just putting him through 1 or 2 exercises to see. It is strong stuff, Beverly.
So it'll be 11 v 10 momentarily. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Lux Bond and Green Jewelers since 1898, celebrating life's special moments. 31st minute of play. Makingila looks like he'll be able to come back with Shane Beckford going through the warm-up on the near sideline.
Now this should be kicked back to North Carolina and not challenged for by Dieng, and it is. Nice sportsmanship.
North Carolina has scored the first goal 7 times in 10 matches. By comparison, Hartford has scored the first goal only twice. And Makingila is back in the match. Played in the middle. Here's Dolabella. She's shot.
Good save.
Save made by Siaha.
Yeah, Jordan Scarlett just got caught a little bit there, and he's having words now, the goalkeeper Siaha, with Jordan Scarlett, and it was a nice little move from Dolabella and a good save from Anthony Siaha. There's Scarlett getting caught, and he just decides to try and use Joe Farrell as a shield. And there's the concern on Siaha's face to Jordan Scarlett. He got away too easily there. Corner kick, North Carolina.
First corner kick for either team on the night. North Carolina dangerous on set pieces. It'll be Mikey Maldonado to trigger from the right of Anthony Siaha. Washington trying to be a trigger man in the middle. In swinger. Siaha plays it at the 6, rolls it out. Here comes Hartford on the counter.
Yeah, he's got nowhere to go though unless he has support arriving, so he's got to hold it on Nobalola and wait for support, and that's the problem. It looked good initially, but there was no support.
Luckhurst.
Good from Prestis.
Jay Prestis. Ivy League versus the ACC. Now Momo. Jang double teamed in the middle, taken down.
There's a card.
Paco Craig. Paco Craig receives his second yellow card of the year.
Not a smash hit for a player whose father was the bassist in Culture Club.
Well done.
Mikey Craig. Also had a spelling bow wow wow for the teenagers.
Jang turned to him and said, "Do you really want to hurt me?"
Ask. So, that's all right.
So it'll be a Hartford restart just inside of midfield. In the 34th minute of what has been a scoreless draw thus far. Tonight's WTNH Youth Soccer Team of the Match, New Britain Soccer Club, here from the Hardware City. So Anderson and Cariaga are both there. There's Anderson's chip. Only red shirts from North Carolina. Gets it back. Somebody on the left. Right to McGuire, who feels it like Willie Mays with the basket.
You've just alienated 90% of the audience.
Go to YouTube and put in Willie Mays and we'll see what. But do that after the match. Don't do it now.
Can we be a little bit more modern as well next time?
Nobody made the basket. I'm sorry. Nobody made the basket catch like Willie Mays.
Good challenge.
Good challenge on the near side by Emmanuel Scott.
Yeah, he's going to have to be in the top of his game today because Mentzingen likes to get forward, does Rafa.
So Maldonado again with the long throw in here in the 35th minute of the scoreless draw.
Yeah, we've seen the fake and then the short one, so I think this one's going to end up in the 18-yard box.
Harrison wouldn't let it get to Washington.
Good header, Prestis.
Prestis, very aggressive. The shot never gets through. Header. Siaha feels it without effort.
I just wondered if that was an opportunity for a touch and then a shot to come in. Opted not to do so. Definitely had the opportunity, Colin Martin.
Samaria bends it back to Scarlett. So, you didn't like my Willie Mays reference.
Oh, I didn't mind it. You've just alienated most of the audience.
So, I'll go modern with you in expected goals so far.
Oh, God, you've gone real modern now.
Spies.
It's beyond me.
North Carolina, 0.23, Hartford, 0.02.
Yeah. Jake Maguire's basically had zero to do apart from catch the ball near his penalty area twice. Very like the Detroit game, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you what game this reminded you of. It's so like the Detroit game that ended in a scoreless draw.
Good run from Momo.
Tripped up to the box.
Yeah, he's offside. But so there's an example of communication, first of all. Joe Farrell with the through ball for Momo Dieng. But running off the ball, not just standing still. You stand still, they're easy to mark. But then if you run between two centre-backs and a back three, then you've got one trying to pick up, one not knowing what's going on if you get the right pass. That's better from Hartford. But I need to see more of that from whether it's Momo, from Farrell, or the players around him. But a little bit better from Hartford.
Tonight's match presented by Trinity Health of New England. When it comes to your health, you deserve the best. At St. Francis Hospital, a part of Trinity Health, they are proud to provide nationally recognized healthcare with a patient-centered approach. St. Francis Healthcare isn't just about awards, it's about you. Recognized for excellence, committed to compassionate care. With the always compassionate Mark Donaldson, I'm Joe D'Ambrosio. 38th minute of play.
I'd rather talk more about chances and goals in football than Willie Mays and various other things, but it's been scarce so far, the opportunities.
Finn Sundstrom, the 18-year-old, send it in, making his 8th start tonight. As a kid, who was a forward.
Whoa. No, he's right. It was very, very late. The foot was left in. Now it's Brendan having words with the fourth official, Stern Bream, who's maybe wishing that he was anywhere but here today. If he turns right, he's got Brendan Burke. If he turns left, he's got John Bradford. Stern talking to Maldonado for just leaving his foot in there. Maybe it, mind seeing a replay, it was one of those that maybe looked worse than it was, but he leapt to his feet, Brendan Burke.
Sabadia plays it up ahead. Sundstrom will throw it in, forcing the turnover. McGuire plays it to the near side. Jordan Scarlett heads it into the North Carolina bench.
Yeah, Deespae's now back on the bench, but if Prestis keeps playing the way that he's playing, there's no way that Brendan Burke's going to change anything in defence, even though it means the right-footed Scarlett playing on the left-hand side of a back three.
Yeah, he's gotten better every game at that. There's a push on Jay. Momo not happy. Quick restart by North Carolina.
It's actually a good foul.
Yeah. Strategic.
Yeah, as long as you don't get booked for it, it just stops a promising. It stops an attack. Because if it stopped a promising attack by the letter of the law, it should be a yellow card. But yeah, I don't want to get back into the situation where we've got a lot of stops and starts in this game. We need some fluidity.
No score. Colin Martin. Second year with North Carolina. They have a great amount of continuity from last year. Of course, they have several players who have been with them for all 4 years.
Yeah.
2 in USL One, and last 2 years in USL Championship. Give and go. But Dolabella can't control. Hartford throwing as we hit the 40th minute.
It says a lot about consistency and stability, doesn't it? If you can bring back the majority of the players you had last season, which was a decent enough season, you keep the coach that you've had who's making progress. I think that's why Hartford decided to bring, what was it, 8 or 9 players back from last season. Yep. Keep Brendan Burke. Then just try and build something. You can't keep changing players and changing coaches and expect to be, especially in this league, because a lot of the players that you're then bringing in are cast-offs from other teams that don't want them.
Joe Farrell forced back. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Travelers. It's the Travelers presenting partner of our community ticket program. Children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford are able to come to the matches free of charge. Obalola tries to play it through. Just a bit outside.
Wow. If you're the umpire, that wasn't close to the strike zone. Goodness. But that's what I want to see more of. Obalola coming short, getting the ball, linking up with Dieng. No issue again with the early attempts. You hit that well. I mean, look at the attempt that he had at Indy. Bang, top corner from the right-hand side. All it takes is a sweet strike, goalkeeper off his line. Still, I don't think they've had a shot on target yet, have they, Hartford?
No. Only 2 total. North Carolina 4 shots total, 1 on target. Here's Obalola.
Very difficult when a goalkeeper's 6 yards off his line and you're 6 yards from the halfway line to A, get it on target, and B, get it accurate enough to cause the keeper some problems. But if that's all Hartford are offering right now, this is this conundrum we spoke about earlier. Protection and creativity. They've got the protection tonight, they're lacking in the creativity.
Creativity has been on the short side. Grignell Vineyard stoppage time. There will be 3 minutes of stoppage time, 3 minutes from now.
It's an early call for the stoppage time. Still got 3 minutes of the normal time remaining.
Looking for the quick throw, and instead Carriaga hands it off to Samani and puts it back to Jordan Scarlett.
A lot of it's been safe tonight from Hartford, which is okay, but you have to take 1 or 2 risks.
Well, I would think especially at home. You know, you're starting to stretch. it's a long homestand, but it's not an easy homestand. Charleston next week, Loud the week after that, and then Jaeger.
They scored none against Detroit, but didn't lose because it was goalless. And they scored 1 against Lou City. The last time that North Carolina was here, they scored 4. They were 4-0 up and then conceded 3. So it's just finding the balance. We need to find a bit more creativity.
Prestis. Retreating. Brings Siaha into the play. Not his best kick. It'll be a throw-in for the visitors. Rafa Minsingen from Rio de Janeiro. Played his college soccer in Indiana at Valparaiso. And he will leave it for the long throw-in man. If it's tied after 90 minutes, they're going to have Maldonado and Anderson.
A throw-off.
On a throw-off. They're two of the best in the league at that. Here's Mikey. Into the box. Headed down. Anderson gets there first and will run it out.
That was a good header by Jordan Scarlett.
Long ball for Jang, but Bryce Washington heads it away. Kept by Obalola. He can't control. Now we got
Yeah, he just left a boot in there. But he was a bit closer that time to Momo Dieng. Again, not so much for the first ball, but the second ball. There was an instant just before that, might have been a free kick, but they just loses control of the ball. And then doesn't need to do that. Obalola, it's a free kick all day long. I'd love to be a fly in the wall in both dressing rooms at half-time. See what's said by Brendan and John.
Fouls 13 against Hartford, 7 against North Carolina.
You get 20 fouls in one half, you don't have much actual playing time. Some width in the game, both sides. It's been too narrow.
Samaria. Jay.
It's the ball. That is the ball.
Yep.
I'm not saying just go long and aim for the tall striker with a high ball. That was a decent ball in from Samaria. But we spoke pre-game about the 2 goals that North Carolina conceded in their 4-2 win against Oakland, and they both came from wide areas. Have we seen Hartford get in behind the 2 wing-backs, Mensingen and Burner, tonight? No.
No, not at all.
So that's something they can maybe work on trying to do in the second half. Maybe take 1 or 2 more risks, because 0-0 draws at home are not going to get you into the playoffs, especially when you struggle to win on the road.
Jang's going to get booked. Yep. Momo Jang is booked for the 3rd time this year for the challenge. Pleading his case, which will not help at all.
He slipped. He's not done.
He didn't do nothing malicious there.
No, it's a foul, but he's not done. That's, you can't control yourself when you slip. That's his point that he's making. Well, into the book he goes. What's that, the 14th foul for Hartford?
Yes. So McGuire comes out to restart in this scoreless draw in the 47th minute. Luckhurst challenges.
He's actually atoned for what was nearly a mistake, Jordan Scarlett, because he let the ball bounce just a little bit too long, then did well with his strength against Luckhurst for a goal kick. When you've got 1 decent chance written down and 3 yellow cards, and the decent chances for the visitors, and that's all that's written down on the paper for the first half, you maybe look to the bench, not necessarily to change things at half-time, but you've got Michi and Galina, who's on a minute's count. He's not going to get any more than 25, 30 minutes. You've also got Deshane Beckford, who's got no restrictions.
Good job by Samaria. Force it off of North Carolina play.
I want to see more of Sebastian Andersson getting forward. He is here because he's looked good when he's got forward.
One touch for Anderson. Arriaga, who's been quiet.
Has been, hasn't he?
Barely mentioned his name. It's going to play it all the way back to Siaha. Boy, Luckhurst almost made his life miserable. And that's halftime. So, first half devoid of much action.
Yeah, there won't be any DVDs or VHS or Betamax recordings of that first half on sale at the club shop anytime soon.
We've played 45 minutes. Hartford no score. North Carolina no score. Back with our halftime next. You're watching USL Championship here on ESPN Plus and WTNH.com.
If anyone thinks cancer is going to define you, they've got another thing coming. We know you are more than someone healing their heart. At Trinity Health, we know the importance of seeing the person behind the patient, the fear, the joy, the journey. Bringing you the expert medical teams and state-of-the-art technological advancements of a national health system, along with the personalized care that helps you feel better. Because we see all of you.
The Great Fire of 1835 forced most insurance companies to close, but not us. The day our founders pitched in to pay every claim is the day the Hartford became the Hartford.
Hartford Athletic in North Carolina scoreless, and the athletic player who has seen the most action in the first half work, our halftime guest, Anthony Siaha.
Yeah, he's had 2 or 3 saves, one very good save to deny Dolabella. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and from a Hartford perspective, it's all about how well they've either defended or their goalkeeper has done, because there's been nothing at the other end. A little push here that got him out of trouble after the ball was allowed to bounce. Luckhurst putting the pressure on. This is the chance. Dolabella, it's a good save. It's a save you expect him to make. He's a big lad. He's got to get down quickly. But it was a mistake initially by Jordan Scarlett. He does look a little bit uncomfortable playing in that left centre-back, being a right footer. And then from the corner, well clutched by Siaha.
So, scoreless in the halftime stats. Don't have the big number in there. 14 fouls against Hartford, 7 on North Carolina. A match with lots of stops and not many starts.
When those highlights make the halftime highlights, you know that you're struggling a little bit to find anything better. Hopefully we'll get better in the second half.
USL News and Notes in our conversation with Anthony Siaha. Coming up next, you're watching USL Championship on ESPN Plus.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Alpine spring water keep you in the game? We always source our water directly from the natural spring to fuel every body, no matter how you like to move it. So whether you're chasing your goals or just staying active this summer, make sure to stay hydrated with Crystal Geyser Alpine spring water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Focus! Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
What a start to the season at Louisville City League!
Joe Brito! Oh, it's magnificent! What a finish!
An injured knee might look pretty simple, but there's a whole person behind that injury. One who misses the feel of his jump shot and spending time with friends on the court. It's not enough just to heal. He needs to get back out there. At Trinity Health, we're here to help you reach your goals. We combine all the knowledge and expertise of a national health system with personalized health care that treats the individual behind the injury. Because we see all of you.
USL News and Notes, Oakland next to last out west, changing their direction. A couple of young players headed for duty with the U.S. National U18 team, and a couple of games on ESPN2, Lou City, Rhode Island, and a Detroit City Westchester game in the Jägermeister Cup. Well, Anthony Siaha joined Hartford Athletic just before the year began, and they've been a godsend. In goal, Mark and I had a chance to talk with the keeper.
Anthony, what was it like coming from Cameroon to Tucson? What kind of a culture shock, what kind of an adjustment was that as a youngster?
It was different. I was lucky because my first teacher spoke French, so it helped me out a lot. It was very hard, but learning English was pretty easy. So,
how did you learn it? TV?
Honestly, playing soccer.
Yeah?
School and playing soccer, being around soccer players and stuff like that. So just being outside made me have to speak English instead of being inside, because inside we always just spoke French. So,
okay, yeah.
When you go for a physical, do they measure you or do they say, what height are you?
Both.
Because we take umbrage to the fact you're 6'5". We think there might be a little bit more than that. What's your actual height?
You know, I think I'm 6'5.5", but they say 6'6" sometimes, and they're 6'5" sometimes. I just go with it.
What do you want to be?
6'5.5", but it's either 6'5" or 6 foot. So it's 6'5".
Regardless, you're a presence.
Yeah.
How important is it not just to have a presence, but to have that physicality in that you go for it, it's your ball regardless of the collateral damage?
You know, being in the goal, I don't feel big in the goal, but I guess other people see when you look at me. Yeah, I guess I look big.
Have you always been a keeper?
I moved to America as a striker, actually. A little bit after 2 years, I became a goalkeeper.
Who's been a striker, you or Momo?
Momo, for sure.
What inspiration do you take from the likes of Andre Onana or others, good goalkeepers who started off similar to yourself and had to kind of go a circuitous route to get to where they are now?
No, everybody has a different route. I look up to those guys, and hopefully one day I get to play next to Onana and stuff like that. So, just motivation that we both come from the same place and you can get where you want to be.
In football, you have a price tag. If someone pays 50 million for you, and suddenly someone who's 6.5 million, like Jan Sommer, does what he does in the Champions League, how difficult is it as a footballer to live up to a price tag which is not your fault?
I don't know. Like I said, every team is different. Every situation is different. There's times where Onana makes great saves. There's times where he's having a bad day. But everyone has one of those days. So that's just how this year is going. But before that, he had really good games at Ajax, and you know, it's just you got to get the momentum of the team and stuff like that. So.
What was it like living in Monterrey for a couple of years? That's a beautiful part of the country.
It was beautiful. I loved it, honestly. The beach is one of my favorite things to go to.
Okay.
So I got to find a beach out here ASAP.
I live at a beach during the summer.
Really?
So you're welcome during the week. Not on Saturdays, because I don't want to get blamed if a goal gets by.
Imagine you two as roommates.
I didn't say roommates. I said he could come to the beach.
You got 2 bedrooms or 1?
I got 4.
Wow.
Oh, I thought it was this wee little beach hut.
Oh, no. It's
beach
nice.
house out here.
It's nice. So you're welcome to the beach.
Appreciate that.
Beautiful beach, black from Long Island Sound.
Yeah, I would love that.
Not much of a walk.
I would love that. Not much to do in Monterey.
Golf?
Yeah, that's golf. Just golfing.
Do you play golf? Are you allowed to?
I'm allowed to. Yes, I'm allowed to. But I'm not really a golfer. Really, I do different things outside of soccer. Like I got my own clothing brand and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm not really too much of a golfer, but I play other sports as well.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about that clothing brand. How did you get in? Have you always been a fashionista, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I always love fashion. My clothing brand is called Zoo Boy, right? And everybody used to call me Zoo Boy because I came from Cameroon, and he used to call me Zoo, me and my other African friends. So I just stamped that and made it my brand, honestly. And yeah, I love selling clothes, and hopefully that's something I love doing.
When you're looking at logos for clothing brands or whatever, could you do a little nod to goalkeeping, or is that something like some sort of range, a pair of gloves or something like that? Is that something to kind of take the brand forward?
I haven't taken it to where I do athletic wear yet, but that's something that maybe in the future I could start. Yeah, for sure.
Just giving you ideas.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you could use ideas from us on clothing. So we talked to the captain a little bit earlier, and he said there's times that he's talking to an official and he'll see this large figure in pink come up behind him. You like moving up the field a little bit.
Yeah. Are you saying to speak to the ref, or are you saying when we're...
No, just during play.
In play.
Yeah, I like to be engaged. I like to be engaged in there.
Are you bored?
That, and I know I could get back quick enough, and I just want to be able to help the defense as much as I can. So that's why I'm always up there, because if I stay all the way back, I'll feel like on an island and not really engage with the team, and I'll lose focus and stuff like that. So,
do you see yourself in a desperation piece coming up on a set piece in stoppage time, trying to score a goal?
I don't know if you remember. I think I did against Pittsburgh. Against Pittsburgh, I was actually shocked because the coach actually yelled for me to go up there, and I haven't done that in so long.
Have you talked to Brendan about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that he's okay with. So if we're down, and what do we have to lose?
Yeah, exactly. Last question for me. Obviously, there's a special cause this year with breast cancer awareness. You're in an all-pink kit. I would think as a fashion guy, you don't have a problem with that.
I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. My nickname right now is Pepto-Bismol. Everybody's calling me they call me Pepto-Bismol, but it's okay. It's okay.
You know what? There's so many ways I could end this, but I'm just going to say thank you so I don't get myself into trouble and not make a Pepto-Bismol reference.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
This week on USL All Access, head coach Ryan Martin from Loudoun United joins us to talk their recent success and how it's more sustainable this time around in their long-term vision. How about the Oakland Roots? Day one, they dismissed Gavin Glinton. End of day one, they named Benny Feilhaber as their new head coach. We got USL Jägermeister Cup action. Sacramento Republic in Indy 11, perfect halfway through the inaugural edition of this tournament between the two leagues.
If anyone thinks cancer is going to define you, they've got another thing coming. We know you are more than someone healing their heart. At Trinity Health, we know the importance of seeing the person behind the patient, the fear, the joy, the journey. Bringing you the expert medical teams and state-of-the-art technological advancements of a national health system, along with the personalized care that helps you feel better. Because we see all of you.
The Great Fire of 1835 forced most insurance companies to close, but not us. The day our founders pitched in to pay every claim is the day the Hartford became the Hartford.
Teams back on the pitch for the second half. Our game tonight brought to you by our friends at LDI Connect. Jody Ambrosio, Mark Donaldson on hand. We talked about this off air. Deshane Beckford will start the second half for Hartford.
It's a straight swap. It's a straight swap for Obalola. And that was the dilemma that Brendan Burke and his coaching staff had. They went with Obalola. So if I'm them, don't know what was said at half-time, I'm saying to Deshane Beckford, look, you were really close to starting. We went with Obalola. We're going to give you 45 minutes to showcase your skills, make an impact, and get into the starting lineup for the next game.
Be Hartford ball to start the second half. I can hear everything in the So, Hartford attacking to the south end of Trinity Health Stadium. TJ Preston didn't get a lot on that. With Luckhurst threatening, Joe Farrell had to come back and help out. What strategic change would you like to see from the home team, Mark?
Well, he's made his change. They've got to decide, are they playing to win this game or are they playing not to lose this game? You're not getting in the playoffs by playing not to lose, especially at home. Gamble a little bit more.
It's Colin Martin. Scarlett prohibits that from getting through. Rolled over the far touchline, the east sideline in front of the supporters. North Carolina, winners of 3 straight. They have beaten Pittsburgh 2-0, Orange County 1-0, and Oakland 4-2. Hartford in league play has played 3 straight draws. There's Paco Craig. Through ball. Prestis is not here. Not now. Hartford still without a shot on target tonight. They have been credited with 4 shots overall. North Carolina wins the duel in front of their bench. Left side, here's Burner. Looking for Dolabella. Traffic jam inside the box for Hartford. There's Prestis out of the pack to clear it up at the side. Near touchline for Jang. Marked closely by Louis Perez. Once again, both these teams missing players due to international requirements. Kyle Edwards is off. Also, Jack Paniotu is still out after he was injured. He's been out for about a month now. Might get to see him in a couple of weeks.
North Carolina are missing more key players than Hartford are.
Yes.
And they're playing within themselves. From that first half display, I think they can be a lot better. I've seen them a lot better. A point away from home is never the end of the world. You win at home against an Eastern Conference rival and you take a point on the road, you get 4 out of 6. Most of the teams you play, then you're easily in the playoffs with home advantage. It's a game they feel that they can win. Just want to see how much they're prepared to push for that victory in the second half. That might open things up as well.
Beckford active at the start.
It's up to Hartford to create. Got to find a way through, unlock this defence. That's not going to get the job done.
Well, Preston's pass doesn't connect. So it'll be a throw-in for North Carolina. 5, 3, and 2, 17 points. 2-2-1 away from Carolina.
Yeah, you keep that ratio going, you get yourself home advantage in the playoffs.
Jake McGuire fans, join us for the next home match next Saturday, June 14th against Charleston Battery. 7 o'clock. Green Out T-shirt giveaway presented by Hoffman Auto. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today at HartfordAthletic.com. Charleston, once again, having a terrific year. Cal Jennings playing the role of Nick Marcanic from last year.
Yeah, nearly doubling his salary from being at Tampa Bay. Been going just up the road.
Maldonado in a nice ball. Golabella finds Martin. Can't tee it up. In the box. Knocked out. You can hear John Bradford telling Louis Perez, higher Louis, higher Louis.
Well, by doing that and by pushing your two wide players, or certainly one of them, forward, you're then keeping Anderson and or Samadi a bit further back. It's a game of chess. Got to be a couple of moves that you're like, ooh, this is a risk, but it might be a risk worth taking. It's been too safe tonight.
Be a Hartford throw in deep in the northeast corner of Trinity Health Stadium. We were an hour late starting tonight due to lightning in the area. Kicked it off at 8:39 as UC Mincingen loses the duel on the far side. Tom Felice, Diego Lucio, the assistant referee. Stern Bream at the table. Edison Carvajal only handed out 3 yellows in the first half. Called 21 fouls.
Oof. I want that one back, Siaha. It's been a good addition. You don't expect to get someone like him as late on as you did if you're Hartford, and him to play such an important role as he's played this season. Obviously, Hartford would like to have kept Renan Ribeiro, but he's on to pastures new, so not left with that much time to find a replacement.
Anderson wanted a foul, but Patrick Berner with a good challenge. Joe Farrell. Hartford, it's going to be a Maldonado. Boy, he is not racing to go take the corner kick. Mikey Maldonado.
A lot cooler than it was before the thunder and lightning storms in the area.
This will only be the second corner of the match. Both of them by the visitors in red and white. Maldonado to trigger. Referee talking to Bryce Washington, who was involved in a little dozy-do in the box. Jordan Scarlett's not going to concede an inch, you know that. Maldonado's corner, as we are scoreless. Far post, headed out of danger. Mincingen will get it as he plays back. Sends it right back in. Easy play for Siaha with the waist-high catch.
Right, let's look at options here.
All right.
Struggle to find any.
Well, you know, we've talked. I don't see a need for Dispay, except you want to get him some run.
No, look, Dispay right now in his comeback from injury is a break glass in case of emergency. You might give him the last 10 if you're 1-0 up and you're trying to hold on.
Where do you slot Engalena? Is my question. Is foul called on the far side?
Well, first of all, you're going to know how many minutes you think he's got. I think it's around 20 to 25. But is that going to be 25 good minutes or just a run out? You want someone that's going to make a difference, not just bring someone on to get their fitness up.
Beckford is the only sub to enter the match so far.
I want to see more of Carriaga. I haven't seen enough of him in the game so far, and that involves service for him.
Now Beckford cuts it back into the box.
Not for me.
Fans wanted a foul,
yeah,
but
not for me.
Clearly nothing there as Maldonado goes down.
And you and I do every home game for Hartford, and we do at times look at things through green-tinted specs. I can see why they want it. I've seen them given before, but I'll always go with the first instinct. Brendan Burke's watching this back. He'll disagree. He'll think that was a penalty. Fine.
Oh, he did not get off the bench.
Well, they all did.
Oh, they all did?
They all did. They thought that was a penalty.
Okay. I was looking out at the action.
They thought that was a penalty.
54th minute, no score. North Carolina, the only shot of the second half thus far. looking for Adam Luckhurst.
Regardless of whether you did or did not think it was a penalty, and it's totally subjective, the main man is the man of the whistle, and there's another foul here and a yellow card coming out. It was better from Hartford. It was more direct from Hartford. It was getting it forward quicker from Hartford. It was taking a man on from Hartford, something we didn't see enough of in the first half.
We call Diaz out immediately. It's Bryce Washington goes down.
It's Beckford, who's hurt himself, making the challenge, having just come on less than 10 minutes ago. That's the last thing that Hartford want, is for a sub to have to be subbed.
Diaz looks like he's working on the right foot. You see the North Carolina subs warming up.
You get the penalty shout queued up again to have another look at. And look, just because I don't think it's a penalty in the first look, my first instinct was no. I can understand why Hartford think it should have been.
Well, we get that ready for you. The Fix is Connecticut's premier standalone IV vitamin therapy boutique, offering customized intravenous vitamin infusions and intramuscular vitamin injections to maximize health, performance, and recovery, with all services administered by licensed registered nurses. Located in West Hartford Center, visit thefixivtherapy.com to learn more as they continue to work on Deshane Beckford.
Okay. Shoulder to shoulder's fine. That is borderline. And as I said, I've seen them given. That's a foul that's awarded just seconds afterwards. So it's where the contact is. Is it with the leg? If it's with the leg, then you're in a dangerous territory. If it's with the shoulder, again, if you're North Carolina, you don't think it's a penalty. If you're Hartford, you think it is.
Beckford does not look happy, gets a yellow card in the 57th minute. Looks like he was having a little discussion with Pedro Dolabella, the mayor. John Bradford talking to Stern Bream.
Yeah, and he's right. He's right. There was a yellow card administered to Deshane Beckford, which means that the North Carolina player, who did have to get a little bit of treatment, does not have to go off.
There's Beckford. Beckford ready to come back in, not waved in yet. Now he is. Played back. Taco Craig wearing the captain's armband tonight to Washington. Plays it across to Finn Sundstrom, a teenager from North Carolina. Hartford not really pressing in the midfield. Laying back, does that surprise you?
Yeah, they need more intensity. It's hard. It's a tough shift. It's a hot night. It's been a hot day. Brendan Burke was saying how they've curtailed the training this week, and in the heat it's been more intense and less duration. Totally get that. But I want to see more intensity. I think you're right. That's a good spot. They've had too much time on the ball, whereby they've not had any pressure from Hartford.
Let's play that time by Sebastian Anderson to force the turnover.
Something needs to happen in this game, Joe. This is very comfortable right now for North Carolina, and if I'm them, I think there's more chance of them pushing the gamble button and getting all 3 points.
Scarlett with space. Now Joe Farrell. Shots remain 6-4, 2 shots on target. McGuire off the line to get that.
There's a little bit of afters there now. Anderson's got to be careful. He doesn't get involved. There's no need. It's up to the officials to sort this out. But Anderson felt he was fouled after the ball was clutched by Jake Maguire, and he wasn't happy. There's a little bit of afters there.
Carriaga came in to help his teammate.
So watch Anderson. Once the ball goes by, it's a little bit of a push right there from Patrick Burner. Not enough for me for a penalty.
Sebastian Anderson has that grin on his face as the referee is talking to the two players involved.
There's a fine line between passion and going too far. Are Hartford at 4 red cards this season?
Yes. Tied for first in the league.
Which isn't good enough, right? You've got to be able to control your discipline a little bit better. I get the passion there, but just don't get... How many times over the past, even before Brendan Burt was here, we've just seen players struggle with discipline at this football club, and if they get sent off, then they miss a game, and it's all a mess. Yeah, there's a little bit of a push there. Does it require that reaction? No, it doesn't.
Flourish, proud to be the official catering partner of Hartford Athletic. They provide healthy and delicious catering, meal prep, and takeout. Visit them online at flourishhartford.com or stop by their Flyby location at 72 New Park Avenue in Hartford. Nothing about this match in the first hour has said Flyby. Played across. Prestis will kick it into the west stands.
That's a foul on Anderson there. Again, it's unnecessary. Got yourself a throw if you're North Carolina, but instead you've conceded a free kick.
How much of it is frustration that things have just not gone their way? Not that that's a reason for it. Don't get me wrong.
Why do you make that challenge?
Yeah.
Anderson's kicking it out. You're going to get a throw in. Instead, you make that Luis Perez. It's an unnecessary challenge, and you give away a free kick.
Well, during the skirmish down here, not skirmish, but the discussion of world defense, Luis Perez came in late and had something to say to Sebastian Anderson. So maybe there was a little left over from that. I'm not saying that's a reason for it. I'm just saying I observed Perez kind of getting involved where he didn't need to.
The number of times in this league a long ball forward just causes chaos is incredible. It should be dealt with so much better than it is. A lot of the time it's not.
Prestis called for the foul. And
I didn't see anything there. I think he threw himself to the ground, Luis Perez.
Hartford bench does not agree.
Watch Prestis here. It's not the best angle. The angle we had suggested there was no contact.
Price Washington will chase it down alone at midfield. No score. Not much action. 63 minutes in. Game is taking an unnecessary physical turn.
Good.
Good steal by Hartford. Here's Samadi to play it back to Macangila. Taken away by North Carolina.
It's all about options there. When Scarlett wins the ball, where's he going with it? Where are his options? Can he go forward? He's got one who's already marked. This is the issue with when Hartford have got possession of the ball. There's got to be more options available. Otherwise, all you do is you play short passes and you don't trouble the opposition.
Well, and you play lateral passes, not passes over the top. Caught on the half volley by Anthony Siaha. The man normally in pink, but tonight in the black. Burner comes back to make the play.
Yeah, it was the coach of North Carolina, John Bradford, there that was talking about go and get seconds. It's not in the dinner lineup at school.
It's a game that just totally lacks any sort of pace. Now Joe Farrell gets a yellow card.
It's got no cohesion at all, this game, has it? There's a lot of frustration out there.
That's the first yellow of the season for Joe Farrell.
We're at 5 bookings in this game and 1 chance. That's not a good ratio.
What's the ratio for a soccer match that is lacking in
a lot?
Any sort of excitement?
Having sat through Scotland-Iceland earlier, don't need another game like that.
Cleared out by Hartford. Rafa Minsigan will get there first for North Carolina. Turns it upfield for Luckhurst. North Carolina retreating.
That's good from Hartford. That's the kind of pressing you want. Put them under pressure, make them go back. Then make sure you can stop the next pass or put the player under pressure.
Mistake by Hartford defensively. Here's Burner. Cuts it into the box. Goes down.
No penalty.
No penalty there. North Carolina hoping against hope they'd get one.
I think it was Prestis initially. It was really good play by the defender.
Jennings had a quiet second half. Then again, so have most of the Hartford forwards.
I think to go from Ivy League soccer and college soccer to be able to fit in. Is he the greatest defender in the world? No. Will he get better? Yes, he will. But he'll be your very solid 6, 7 out of 10 in most games, Prestis. And that'll get you a career in this game.
Paco Craig with room. Gets it back on the one touch. Goes wide. Cleared out. Maldonado heads it back.
Dieng wanting a free kick. No chance.
No score. 67th minute.
Well, 3/4 of the way through this one, Joe, and you just got to hope that the best is yet to come from a Hartford perspective. The interesting thing now from John Bradford, I think this game is there for North Carolina to go and try and win it. But they haven't created. They've had that good chance in the first half from Dolabella, but they should just gamble a little bit more, and that can open things up, and it can open things up for Hartford to maybe exploit. But when you're content to maybe hit them on the counter or have a lot of the ball and try and maybe get a chance or two to win it, Mishi Ngalina's going to come on, so we're going to see him for the last 20 odd minutes. He's going to complete his warm-up. That makes sense, and that could be the injection that Hartford need.
Hasn't played in the last 3 games, 2 of them league games, won the Jägermeister Cup.
It's not a foul.
Crowd wanted a foul. Taken away. Samadia sprints to the goal line, chips it, nobody there. Burner heads it, second ball.
Said quite a lot. Get it wide, get it in. That's the first time Hartford have got to the byline in this game. It's better. Going back to the incident, it wasn't a penalty. It might have been a foul initially, and there's a challenge by Prestis. He'll go into the book for that.
No, that's Farrell. Farrell's gone.
Oh, it was Farrell.
That's Joe Farrell, and he's gone. In the 68th minute, Joe Farrell absorbs his second yellow, and he is gone for the night.
There's the discipline again. You're on a yellow card. You can't make this challenge.
It was Prestis initially.
That's stupid from Farrell.
And then Farrell went low, so Hartford once again will play a man down for the last 22 minutes plus. Dan Gasper, Aaron Wheeler there. Joe Farrell will walk back to the locker room under the stands.
There's no excuses. You're booked for dissent in the 64th minute.
Now there's something going on down the other end as Dolabella has gone down. Mikey Maldonado talking to Siaha. Momo Jang in there as well. Hartford really has to just get its act together here. There's no excuse for this.
Well, did they not go a man down against Louisville? Yeah, they came back into the game. But you cannot have issues with discipline when you're a struggling team at the wrong end of the table. Because not only are you playing the last 20 minutes now with 10 men. You're losing Joe Farrell. You'll lose him for the next game as well. That's got a knock-on effect if Deespay's not ready to start a game. Mishi's going to come on.
Looks like he's going to come out for Jang.
He is.
Yep. So Michi Angelina enters the lineup. Westfield Bank, the regional community bank, focused on its customers and their financial security, the communities we share, and the teams we root for. Westfield Bank, what better banking is all about. Online at westfieldbank.com, member FDIC. So Michi Angelina, who has 1 goal on the season, that was on a penalty kick, hasn't scored a goal in a run of play since last August. Farrell becomes the 5th Hartford player to wear a red card, and that means he's ineligible for next Saturday night against Charleston Battery here, in a game where you need all hands on deck.
Right, so it's a back 4. It's Anderson at right back, Samaria at left back. The 2 centre backs are Prestis and Scarlett. It's 4 in midfield. Cariaga will play on the right-hand side. Beckford will play on the left-hand side. Hairston and Makangira. And it's Michi Angelina as the lone striker in a 4-4-1 formation after ill discipline costs Hartford once again.
Well, Beckford's up front too, correct?
Yeah, but Beckford's having to play over on the left-hand side now.
Oh, right. Here's Paco Craig. Up to Louis Perez. Now Burner. Turns the defender around, and Siaha comes out and makes the play. This is the 2nd game in a row here at Trinity Health that we've seen things get out of hand. The last home game against Lou City was when we had a lot of action after the final whistle blew. Manuel Samadia got a red card from that. Hartford still looking for that first shot on target. Really, the buildup just has not been there all night, especially here in the second half.
Neither side can say they've done anything in the second half.
Prestis in a race with Luckhurst.
It's good. Yeah, he's just steady and solid. That's what you want in a centre-back.
And once again, they'll wait for Mikey Maldonado to come for the long throw.
This now goes from North Carolina FC taking a point and it being a disappointing result compared to taking a point against 11 men, and it's not the end of the world. It's fine, unbeaten on your travels. They should be pushing on now and trying to get 3 points, because you're not going to get any more attacking threat from Hartford with 10 than you got when they had 11.
Throw it into the box, no danger for Siaha. Goes up to grab it. Price Chopper, an official partner of Hartford Athletics. Soccer fans, save 15% with your Advantage card off general admission tickets to all Hartford Athletic home games here at Trinity Health Stadium. Visit PriceChopper.com for more details on this amazing offer. So Hartford playing a man down, and they will really show much more patience here. Here's Cariaga. Try to play it through. Anderson cuts in to steal it for Harrison.
I don't know what it is about Hartford when they go down to 10 men. It's like there's a switch that just gets flicked.
Here's Angelina, but the ball a little too hot, goes over the goal.
And what I mean by that, you saw against Lou City, they end up getting a point with 10 men.
Right.
And they've done that before. It's like a kind of all for one, one for all. Okay, it's not so much shut up shop, but let's play for each other. Let's work a little bit harder together. They could end up winning this, but they're going to have to do something to cause problems for Jacob Maguire, because right now that top that he's wearing, the shade of purple lilac, isn't even going to need to be washed. He's had zero to do.
I think we've used lilac on the broadcast before. That's well done.
Why'd you say lilac?
Lilac.
Lilac.
Yeah, lilac. Language barrier. Nice tackle by Samadia.
Good tackle.
Angelina on the chase with Washington, who heads it over the far side. Angelina forces the turnover. Quick restart. Michi 1-on-3. Waits for the cavalry to show up.
Sometimes it's just a sense of frustration, a sense of anger, a sense of feeling hard done by that makes you try that extra 5-10% or whatever it is.
Situation like this, I would think Samuel Carriaga's got to play an even bigger role.
That'll be a corner, and that'll be Hartford's first corner of the game.
Yep. Here in the 75th minute, Hartford finally gets a corner kick. And they've been proficient this year in scoring on corner kicks. It'll be Sebastian Anderson who will take it.
And one of their main threats from a corner was dismissed a few minutes ago.
And the other one was subbed out. Momo Jang.
So let's see what they've got in store here. Samadi is always the option from the short corner. That keeps at least one of the North Carolina players occupied.
Siaha is over the midfield line, playing in the Hartford attacking half of the field. Here's Anderson. Outswinger, headed
chance.
Nice ball.
Prestis.
Nice ball by Anderson. TJ Prestis looking for that first professional goal.
Yeah, he's got a good leap on him as well.
Good hops, as we like to say.
Do you? Going back to Willie Mays.
Yep. No. Hops is about in first one.
Just mistimed it a little bit there. If he'd got up a little bit earlier and kept it down, that was a chance. It was a good delivery from Sebastian Anderson. That's the first time the fans have had something to get excited about this evening. It's taken until the 76th minute.
13 shots thus far, only 2 on target, both by North Carolina FC, which has dominated time of possession, even more so here in the second 45.
Back in the day when a win was only worth 2 points in most world football, a draw wasn't the end of the world, but you're dropping 2 points if you can only draw.
And Galena tries to dance. Sends
just
it in
out.
Front, pushed it out. Good try. Good effort by Angelina.
He's
trying to make something happen.
Shown something. Good to get some minutes into the legs.
As you watch Michi.
Just there.
Just couldn't turn the corner on Paco Curry.
Enough real estate.
A couple of players warming up at the side of the bench. One of them is Arturo Dispe. Once again, Joe Farrell sent off in the 68th minute for a second yellow. Burner, he's been active. Carriaga knocks it away from Perez.
Good reader of the game, TG Prestis as well.
Washington. Colin Martin's had the ball on his boot a lot tonight.
Yeah, their coach, John Bradford, just wanting them to get a little bit more advanced. There's no need for 2 kind of sitting midfielders.
Washington plays it wide.
Hartford are content to allow North Carolina possession of the ball.
Burner up ahead. Another corner kick. Number 3 on the night for the visitors from the Tar Heel State.
Proper rain down there, my goodness. The week of the PGA Championship recently down in Charlotte. That Monday and Tuesday, my word. That didn't just rain. It's proper heavy stuff.
So it'll come from the right. Yes, it caused some stress, I know, in the opening round with the ground so wet still. Mark, of course, covering it for ESPN, doing a terrific job on ESPN Plus. In the box, it was almost dangerous.
Good delivery.
Keep it in.
Oh no!
And towards the goal, tipped
what
over.
A save that is
by C. Well, he makes one of those a game, and that was the one for Antonio Siaha, getting the plaudits of his teammates.
This is stunning. He's only getting this because he's the height that he is. Otherwise, it's a Michi and Galena own goal. His footwork is outstanding. He stretches every sinew of his 6'5" frame, and that could easily have been, with just over 10 minutes to go, the opening goal for North Carolina. Brilliant save.
So now the corner will come from his left. As we remain scoreless thanks to the save of the game by Siaha. In swinger. Headed. Crossbar. Boy, Hartford dodging some bullets.
I think that might have been Paco Craig.
Beautifully served ball into the box. So Siaha had some words for Scarlett earlier. I couldn't tell on the replay.
I think it is Paco Craig.
Siaha taking his time once again. Hartford playing 11v10. Anthony Siaha.
So within the space of 60 seconds, Hartford nearly scored 2 own goals. And they had a brilliant save and a bit of good fortune.
We remain scoreless here in the 81st minute. North Carolina 5-3-2, winners of 3 straight. Hartford unbeaten in its last 3 with 3 draws. They would, right now, Mark, I think they would take a draw.
Hartford?
Yeah.
And run.
Perez. Gets it back from Martin.
Yeah, already you see the starting positions of the majority of the North Carolina players are about a good 5-10 yards further forward. They're pushing, and the remainder of this game, the last 10 minutes of normal time, are going to be played pretty much primarily in the Hartford half.
Hartford sticking everybody behind the ball. Now Burner. Carriaga tries to say he knocked it off Burner. Referee Carvajal says no, it'll be corner kick number 5.
Yeah, not only, we spoke a couple of minutes ago about the Hartford corner, their first of the game, and how Joe Farrell would normally be a target. Joe Farrell's normally one of the first that's trying to get the ball headed clear. Now that he's gone, this is another issue, and you don't have the same height or physicality now, and North Carolina still do.
No, really, Hartford with a height-wise a small 10 field players, or 9 field players out there. Kept in by Minsigan. Sends it out wide. Maldonado to the post. Anderson will let it settle and clear it away.
His deliveries, Maldonado, remind me of Charlie Adam back in the day in the Premier League.
Played into the box and cleared out. Is that a Willie Mays type reference?
No, Charlie Adam ended up at Liverpool. But he had corner kicks that were just sublime in set plays.
North Carolina maintaining the pressure here, but unable to solve Anthony Siaha. Hartford almost with a couple of own goals. Maldonado's got plenty of room here. Looks for the runners. Headed in the box. Cleared out by Scarlett. Taken by Beckford. And he'll try to start the counter. Beckford swerves to the middle. Sent sprawling. That'll be a yellow. North Carolina can't believe it.
I think Edison Carvajal, the man in the middle, has had easier days at work. This has been lively.
7th yellow of the match dished out to Colin Martin.
And look, by the letter of the law, it's only a yellow. It's clear yellow. It's nothing more than that.
Dayhill Dome, the place to play. Open to all ages and abilities. Rent the facility to run your own program or register for one of theirs. Either way, they welcome everyone to experience the best sports facility in the region. Visit dayhilldome.com to learn more. Headed right to McGuire. No danger there. TJ Prestis, who's assumed a little bit more of an offensive role here since the ejection of Joe Farrell.
Good from Beverly.
Yeah, nice play by Macangila. Angelina.
It's about options. All the options are behind or square, which I understand at this stage, because now it's about playing not to lose rather than playing to win. It's everything that happened prior to the red card and the lack of creativity. It's a good ball.
Into the box, and it will go wide. Nice ball by Prestis again. Wow.
Great ball.
I'll tell you what, he's been to me, he's been the best player Hartford's had tonight.
Agreed.
As you watch Prestis try to change fields.
But so think about this as phases. If Prestis plays the pass, if I'm on the right-hand side here, I want to gamble. I want to make that run towards the goalkeeper in the hope that it's cut back, and they didn't have that. Understandable with 10 men. If that's with 11 men, you'd want your striker to maybe get in there.
I was going to ask you, being a man down.
Oh, of course.
Is that, that lessens the
of course.
desire to do that.
But that's how you should be thinking. It's not. It's like in chess. You've got to think 2 or 3 moves ahead. Prestis has played the ball. You're not scoring from that if you're playing it back across goal. So then get your second man running and get someone coming in at the back post. So there, I've got no issue with that because you're a man down and you don't want to commit too many forward because that would just be suicidal. But that's a pass. We've said that since the first 5 minutes. It's a pass that's been on all game for both sides.
Hartford with its first shot on target tonight. Possession taken away by Dolabella.
Which one are we saying was on target?
I don't know. That's why I put that out there. I was going to hope you knew. North Carolina with numbers. Mintz again tries to whistle it wide, and he does.
Was that in the official stats?
Yeah.
Maybe the header. Maybe the header from, was it Prestis a couple of minutes ago?
Yep. We're going to see Raheem Summerswall, the 27-year-old from St. Kitts and Nevis, in for Colin Martin. Summerswall's played every game but one thus far for North Carolina FC. They come in off the win over Richmond, the 1-0 win in Game 2 of the Jägermeister Cup after losing their first Jägermeister Cup game. Hartford 2-0, 6 points. Tied for the lead in their group with Rhode Island FC.
That's better pressure from Hartford.
Carriaga in the middle. A lot of red shirts back there for Hartford to try to get through. Now Hairston, the communicator in the midfield for Hartford. Marley Hairston plays it up ahead. Anderson will retreat back to Prestis.
Yeah, right now it's not so much about options. It's about if you've got the ball the opposition don't have, and then that one good pass like that one.
Here's Angelina. Puts it in. Looks for runners. Plays it back.
I mean, he's got a chance to put that ball in. And now he's offside. I get there's rust, but come on. You get to the byline, you're in a position to put it in. Don't take an extra 3 or 4 touches. Look where it ends up. It ends up back with a right wing back who then plays it to you, who are too slow to get back from an offside position, and the chance is lost. It's got to be better than that.
Tonight's Hartford Business Journal Business Alliance partner of the match, Tudor Chest. Challenge at midfield. Carriaga, Dolabella.
Say that Brendan Burke does not agree with referee Edison Carvajal that should go to North Carolina.
Watch it again.
Scott,
he's got a good point.
Brendan's, that would be an open and shut case in a court of law.
Scoreless as we approach stoppage time. Summerswall.
Quite the
with his first touch.
3 hours.
Ooh. A bad play by Summerswall, just hands it to Beckford. Cuts it back towards the middle. And now drops it back to Prestis.
It's good.
Hartford right now would settle for their 4th draw in a row. Playing a man down.
Expect Expected more from North Carolina when they were playing against 10 men. If I'm a North Carolina fan watching this on ESPN Plus or their local TV channel down there, this is one that I'm thinking is maybe 2 points dropped. A yellow card for that unnecessary challenge. And now a late opportunity for Hartford to stick one in the mixer.
Yellow card number 8. Samaria chopped down by Minsigan.
Just a reminder as well, it's not contact that's necessary, and intent is enough for a yellow card.
Third yellow for Minsigan. Brigno Vineyard stoppage time. There are 5 minutes of stoppage time. So it'll be Anderson to start the restart from just inside the east sideline, east touch line. And the whistle blows, and we'll do it again.
It's actually a break for Hartford because that wasn't a good delivery. This is where Joe Farrell would normally come around the back and either try and get his head to it to head it towards goal or head it back across goal. The tallest player at the back post right now is Michi Ngalina. Jordan Scarlett's one to watch here, pretty close proximity with Prestis.
Put in play, 4 red shirts there. Ngalina bangs it off Dolabella, or kicks Dolabella inadvertently. Michi sends it over the goal line.
Yes, body shaving's technique's all wrong here. If you're doing anything, you go back across the goal. You go near post and you slice it. This is what happens. It was not very good.
Patrick Burner. Summerswall. Now Craig. Into the middle of Mikey Maldonado. Who's assumed Colin Martin's position in the middle. Into the box. Macagila with the clearance.
Talk about a stark dichotomy of the last time these two sides met here in a 4-3 weird and wacky and wonderful game compared to tonight. Goodness.
There's nothing wacky about this game tonight.
Got to find a way to turn draws into wins, Hartford.
Especially here.
That's the
Especially
key.
at home.
That's the key. Detroit 0-0. Louisville, good point, 1-1. It's a handball.
12 on Maldonado.
So after Farrell gets sent off for a ridiculous challenge, leaving the referee with no other option than to hand him a second yellow after he'd been booked for dissent 4 minutes before that, North Carolina's 2 best chances came from Hartford players.
Right, Ngalina off the crossbar.
And then the header when Paco Craig was going in for it, which hit his own bar as well. Apart from that little spell, Hartford have done it again. It's that kind of that mentality of, right, we're going to shut up shop here. We're going to be very hard to beat, and we're going to defend stoically.
Nice ball by Siaha. Possession regained by North Carolina. Into the third of at least 5 minutes in Bricknell Vineyard stoppage time. North Carolina this year has 2 goals in stoppage time. Hartford has conceded 2.
North Carolina scored in the last 8. So to stop them from scoring would be a decent outcome from Hartford, but the lack of creativity tonight prior to the red card is slightly alarming.
Perez cuts behind Berner to accept the pass. Plays it back to Craig as they work the perimeter. Now Washington. Served in. Headed. And a goal! And North Carolina takes the lead. Their 3rd stoppage time goal of the year.
Dolabella.
It is Pedro Dolabella with his 3rd goal of the season, and North Carolina has the 1-0 lead.
Wow. Got to play to the final whistle. That's what'll hurt. It's just a simple ball in from Finn Sundstrom. And he gets underneath that one, TJ Prestis. It's a perfect header. It's the only place you can put that Siaha doesn't get it.
Watch the service.
That's the one thing that he hasn't quite got right tonight, TJ Prestis. Just mistiming his jump. It's a ball that he would normally be pretty optimistic that he could get there. And Dolabella timing his jump better. No touch off the Hartford defender. And there's your 3 points back down the road.
Dolabella, who scored May 3rd against Pittsburgh. Once again, the perfect service into the box.
And now it goes from a game that you probably should have done better against 10 men to 1-0 last minute, feeling great. Big 3 points on the road. Doesn't matter how you play, but you get the 3 points. From a Hartford perspective, wow, that's a body blow.
Old friend Tristan Hodge getting set to come into the game.
This is about trying to attract fans to come back, trying to get new fans. And if you've come here tonight, I think the loudest we heard the fans was when they got their first corner of the game. They need to have more things to cheer about, the Hartford supporters.
Connor Donovan also coming into the game.
That's 5 red cards, Joe, this season.
Yeah.
That's not going to get the job done. The discipline has to be better.
And Arturo Dizpe will come into the Hartford lineup, replacing Marlon Hairston. Well, there will be much to unpack from a Hartford aspect after this one.
Where would you start?
I would start with the lack of creativity and the lack of discipline.
The lack of creativity, let's address that. The keys to the game were about, and we spoke with Brendan about this on Thursday, it's about providing more protection. And apart from those 60 seconds where Hartford nearly scored 2 own goals, I think over the piece, North Carolina had that one chance from Dolabella in the 32nd minute and those 2 efforts that nearly resulted in own goals. But apart from that, haven't created too much. But at the other end, Jacob Maguire's done very little and had very little to do. So you've got to find a balance between playing to win or playing not to lose, between protecting and creating. They haven't had that tonight. This place needs to be a fortress. And this place right now has opposition teams licking their lips when they know they're coming to Hartford. That can't happen.
Goal officially coming in the 95th minute. Dolabella from Sundstrom, the teenager, getting his first assist in league play.
Oh, that's a call. That's a call. He's not giving it, but that's worth another look. It's Mishi and Galina that went down.
Brendan Burke at the far end of the bench, yelling out at Edison Carvajal. Reaches up. Hartford maybe has one chance left. Headed down. Summerswall boots it upfield.
And that's it.
And that's your ball game. We have come to full time. And Brendan Burke headed straight for Edison Carvajal.
Let's take another look at the penalty claim. Mishi and Galina going down. I mean, Connor Donovan, there's some contact. Is there enough? Has the player tried to buy it? There's certainly some. I think the way that the referee officiated tonight, I don't think that bar is high enough for him to award that as a penalty. Brendan Burke can look at the challenge from before the red card for Joe Farrell when it might have been a penalty. No wonder he's frustrated, but you can't rely on set-piece goals all the time. You've got to create more from open play, and that was something that Hartford were unable to do this evening, and as a result, they end up with nothing.
So, at the end of full time, North Carolina takes the 3 points on the stoppage time goal by Pedro Dolabella. They beat Hartford 1-0. Mark and I back to wrap it up next here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Central Connecticut State University. Apply today at ccsu.edu. Fans, join us for the next home match Saturday, June 14th at 7 o'clock against Charleston Battery. It is the Green Out T-shirt giveaway presented by Hartford Auto.